What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into backyard baseball players' running stats. Every player has a 1 to 10 rating in the game, and we want to do a deep dive to figure out if the players that are ranked high are truly the best runners in the game. So stick around and we'll find out. Before we get into it, I got 2 tasks for you. 1, hit that subscribe button so you can follow along to all of our backyard baseball content. We're making a bunch and we're getting into all the nitty-gritty details of the game, so make sure you're following along, especially before the console releases come out later this summer. And number 2, start typing a comment below on what player you think is fastest in the game and what team baseball hat I'm wearing right now, and I'll reveal that at the end of the video. Every player in backyard baseball has a running rating that you can see. It's a 1 to 10 rating system, and it's kind of just the tip of the iceberg of what's actually happening. The game itself is actually taking secret stats or hidden stats, their speed, their aggression, their attention on the base paths, and using a formula to calculate their actual running rating. So, a player with lower speed but higher aggression and attention on the base paths might actually be ranked higher than a player that has faster speed but lower aggression and attention. We'll get into that a little bit more in a second, but it's important to know that the rating that you see might not be what you feel in the game. Now, I'm gonna be using a chart that has all those hidden stats revealed, so if you don't want super spoilers, click off, but it's important for us to kind of get the actual stats from the game itself to decide who is the best runner in the game. Link to that website is in the description below. Also, before I get people in the comments saying that this was not super scientific and that I'm probably wrong in a lot of different ways, let's go over a couple different things that I'm doing to test the speed. Number 1, I am playing a pickup game against myself. So I am in a controlled environment that we can test how fast players are stealing. Number 2, I'm starting the timer from the frame before the player takes off from the base. The game is programmed to have the player steal the base, any base, after the ball crosses home plate, just like Little League. I am starting the timer the frame before they start moving. I am ending the timer the second I see the safe icon pop up. It is the only thing that we can see visually that the game acknowledges the player made it to the base. Otherwise, taller players might get an advantage there, and we don't really know, since I'm not trying to throw them out, if the player made it safely or if they were out. So I know it's a speed thing, but it's the best we can go off of, okay? I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dude playing backyard baseball. Finally, just to cover my bases, this is super unimportant, but the camera follows the ball. So when you're playing 2-player and you don't throw down to second base, the catcher is holding on the ball and the camera is zoomed out, focusing on the catcher. Now, in order to try to get us the best visual representation of this, you kind of have to jitter the fielders to keep the camera alive. All that is to say, in certain instances when I do the overlay of the players, there might be a little bit of framing off and like the visual representation of where the player might not be perfect, but I assure you they are all synced up timing wise, so we get a good enough visual representation of where people are. Sometimes it's perfect, sometimes it works great, but there's going to be some cases in here I just can't control that. It's too hard to control. All right, starting with Pete Wheeler, we have a rating of 10 and a speed of 100. Now let's have him steal second base, third base, and home to get an average steal time for Pete. So Pete basically clocks in at around 4 seconds per steal. So now let's throw another top-rated runner into the mix. Julie Dunkel is also a 10 and with a speed of 100. So let's have Julie steal second, third, and home and get her average. If you don't have Julie unlocked, you can unlock Julie Dunkel by breaking 10 windows on any stadium. Real quick, check the linked video to learn how to unlock any player in the game. As I was talking, you may have noticed that Julie is averaging a 3-second steal time, which is a full second faster than Pete Wheeler, even though they have the same exact speed rating. Let me overlay them running to second base together, and you can see Julie clearly beats Pete to the base. I'm not really sure why this is happening, even though they have the same exact speed. I'm not sprinting with Julie, I'm not sprinting with Pete. It should all be the same. So maybe the other stats have something to do with it. It's just tough to know if this is a bug or if this is intended as of now. And for those of you wondering, I did test their steal times while sprinting, and it turns out they have the exact same time. I don't really know what to make of this. It's all very confusing, especially with the same ratings and the differences in when I'm not sprinting. So let's move Julie up to the top spot of the leaderboard, and let's get Mr. Clanky in there. Someone who has 50 overall speed. He is dead center of the ratings. And to my surprise, Clanky is just as fast as Pete Wheeler. This is absolutely shocking to me, as I had no idea that Clanky would be the same speed and as Pete running around the bases. So to go one step further, let's get Amy Bostwick up there. She is the slowest rated player in the game at a whopping 14 speed. Surely she is slower than Pete and Mr. Clanky, right? The short answer is no. She is the same exact speed as Clanky and Pete, even though she is ranked at 14 overall speed and Pete is 100. They are the same exact speed when stealing bases without the sprint. Here is an overlay of all 4 of those runners running the bases or running to second, and you can see Pete and Clanky are the exact same time. Bostwick is just behind them, and Julie absolutely destroys them, getting to the base about a second before every other player. Real quick, just to see it visually, here's the difference between Julie and Amy. So after that, I wanted to test players that had the same exact stats. So I did that with Jay Green and Leah Wayne, and I also did that with the Weber sisters, and everything tested out normal. They all got to the base at the same time, so that checks out to me. But I wanted to keep testing. Dante Robinson is a 9 overall runner, while Jason Giambi is a 4, but yet their speed is the same. So what happens if they race to second base? And they got there at the same exact time, which leads us to believe that speed is the only thing that matters. I tested Angela versus Kimmy to see if their aggression and attention had anything to do with it. It didn't. And finally, I tested Kenny Lofton versus Jason Giambi, and wouldn't you know, Jason Giambi is in fact faster than Kenny Lofton in the game. So what does this all mean? Nothing. It means that I need to get a life, and none of this matters. It probably means that the devs need to fine-tune some of these ratings and adjust some things in the back end. It's not that important. I just thought it was very interesting to go through these things and to kind of see what's actually happening in the game versus what the data is telling us the game should be doing. Again, none of this matters. It's fun. It's backyard baseball. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe the dirt had something to do with it. I did not test playing on Sandy Shores versus Tin Can Alley, for example. I thought just the dirt infield would be a good baseline to get all these data points from. So we'll see how the game progresses. I just wanted to get this out there because I thought it was interesting. So have a good day. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Check out the other videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Tampa Bay Rays, did you get it right?